Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm going to do another classic rock reaction. This is Led Zeppelin. It's a double shot, and it's closing out the last of Led Zeppelin 1. So the first feature is going to be Your Time Is Gonna Come, and then that's going to be followed by How Many More Times. Let's get it. Who says there isn't a place for the organ in rock and roll? Connects to the soul, doesn't it? That's what the organ does for me.
Cheating, hurting, that's all you seem to do. Messing around every guy in town, putting me down for thinking of someone new. Always the same, playing your game, drive me insane. Trouble's gonna come to you. One of these days, and it won't be long, you look for me, but baby, I'll be gone. This is all I gotta say to you, woman. Your time is gonna come. Your time is gonna come.
This is all I got to say to you.
Your time is gonna come. Your time is gonna come. Made up my mind, break you this time. Won't be so fine, it's my turn to cry. Do what you want, I won't take the brunt. It's fading away, can't feel you anymore. Don't care what you say, cause I'm gonna wait to stay. Gonna make you pay
crying
for
guitar.
that great big hole in my heart.
What is it now?
People talking all around, watch out woman, no longer is the joke gonna be on my heart. You've been bad to me, woman, but it's coming back home to you. Your time is gonna come. Your time is gonna come.
Excellent. Your time is gonna come. Led Zeppelin. Excellent, man. Yeah, this tune, I'm familiar with this particular tune. It's been, God, man, take this off there. Got an echo in my ear. It's been, yo, I don't know how many years that I've heard it. How I'm familiar with it though is I had a girlfriend who had a cassette tape playlist on a cassette. It's back when your cars came with cassette. And every time she got into my car, she had that cassette. And the cassette was an assortment of tunes, a lot of Rush. That's how I got to know some of Rush. I believe it was the Moving Pictures, some of the songs from the Moving Pictures album. It included YYZ without the drum solo. There was Tom Sawyer, Red Barchetta. I think that was it for Rush. And then there was this song on it. And a couple of other tunes that I can't remember now, but I remember this was my first introduction to this particular tune. And every time we got into the car, this cassette automatically started playing. So, but I think back now, I've actually probably never heard the song in its entirety. It's either that I was tuned into driving and I wasn't listening to the song, or we had short trips or whatever, or it just didn't play at that particular time on the cassette. But in any case, I know this tune, and man, you should have been in the room when I was trying to convey this to my buddy Paul. I was suggesting to him, and I mentioned this to a few of you in the comments, that I was intending on skipping over this particular track. And because, I'm very familiar with it, familiar enough that maybe I didn't warrant a reaction to be necessary. Yo, man. Paul lost his damn mind. You should have seen him, man. He's like, what did he say? He said something like slapping a couple of shades of black off of my hide. So, needless to say, he was serious about this song, man. So I said, all right, there's still a lot of value in the review and going into the history of the song, because that's what I like very much, going into the history of how a song came about. What was the inspiration? What's the backstory? Every single song has a story, so there's value in that, and then I realized that maybe I haven't listened to the song in its entirety anyway. So, man, Paul was like, there was flares coming out of his damn nostrils, man. Yeah, that was trippy. So that's why I am doing this, just as a little bit of an update, because I mentioned to some of you that I was going to pass it over, but no, there's no passing over. So let's get into this, man. I'm just bringing up my Wikipedia page here, get some song fact information about this tune. Led Zeppelin, Your Time Is Gonna Come. Okay, there we go. Your Time Is Gonna Come. Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones wrote this song, which is about an unfaithful woman who will pay the price for her deceitful ways. The lyrics reflect Jimmy Page's views on women at the time. He thought they were deceitful. Damn, Jimmy. Somebody broke your heart, bro. Okay, Page played a Fender 10-string steel guitar on this, and Jones played a church-style organ using a pedal to generate the bass. Page told Guitar Player magazine, quote, "I had never played steel before, but I just picked it up. It sounds like a slide or something. It's more out of tune on the first album because I hadn't got a kit to put it together," unquote. So that's the crying guitar that I was talking about. It makes a very familiar crying sound, I guess. Or he's just making that happen. Let me know about that. The musically inclined people. Let me know how that works, man. I love that sound. All four members of the band sing together on the chorus. Led Zeppelin performed this on their Scandinavian tour in 1968, then never played it live again. Jimmy Page performed this while touring with the Black Crowes in 1999 to 2000. Okay, so yeah, their Scandinavian tour. So that in 68, so that was when they were just transitioning into Led Zeppelin from being the New Yardbirds. So working on my timeline here. So they went over as the New Yardbirds and came back as Led Zeppelin. All right. And I'm guessing the reason why they didn't perform this thereafter was maybe it had a lot of strong emotional ties, especially maybe specifically with Jimmy Page. Maybe there's a painful memory attached, and he had to get over his feelings maybe towards a bad relationship or something like that. Because yeah, he didn't perform it again until 99 to 2000 with the Black Crowes. Speaking of that, I gotta find some footage of that, man. If you guys have any kind of a really good link or a reference source, let me know. I'd love to explore that whole Jimmy Page with the Black Crowes thing, man. All right. So that is the story and information of Your Time Is Gonna Come. So let's check out the next feature, How Many More Times, the very, very last feature of Led Zeppelin 1. Man, this was one of the most highly requested songs. I'd say the fourth most highly requested song after the big three. I'm gonna call them the big three. You know what they are. All right, man. How Many More Times? Let's get it. That was my stomach rumbling, sorry. All right, let's get it.
How many more times treat me the way you wanna do? How many more times treat me the way you wanna do? When I give you all my love, please, please be true.
This is an old blues
I
track.
give you all I've got to give. Rings, pearls, and all.
Rings.
I give you all I've got to give. Rings, pearls, and all.
I think this is Howlin' Wolf. So you're gonna crawl. I think this is a Howlin' Wolf tune. I think. This part, man. Some of those damn drums. The guitar in this song is almost singing more so than crying. Sound it's making. Listen to that sound.
I was a young man, I couldn't resist. Started thinking it over, just what I had missed.
I love that sound.
Shot me a girl and I kissed her and then and then.
Nice and haunting.
Whoops, so low, when I did it again. Now I've got 10 children of my own. I got another child on the way, that makes 11. But I'm in constant heaven. I know it's all right in my mind. I got a little schoolgirl and she's all mine. I can't get through to her 'cause it doesn't for me.
This guy gets in the mix a lot, huh?
But I'm gonna give her everything I got to give.
Listen to that damn guitar.
Oh, Rosie. Oh, girl. Oh, Rosie. Oh, girl. Steal away now. Steal away. Steal away, baby. Steal away. Little Robert Anthony wants to come and play. Why don't you come with me, baby? Steal away.
God damn.
All right.
How great is John Bonham, man?
Call me the hunter. That's my name. Call me the hunter. That's how I got my fame. Ain't no need to hide.
That's how I got my fame.
Ain't no need to run. 'Cause I got you
song, man. All right, man. How many more times? All right. So, finally got to it. How many more times? The fourth most requested song since I started my channel. So that's the song that you guys have been bashing me upside the skull to react to for the last 2 months. I can understand why, I can see why. That is an excellent, excellent song. And more importantly, being it coming from their first album. Not that they needed to do it, but that is a great demonstration of their cohesive musicianship. I mean, there are parts in this song. It was a long song too, which is great because it really gives you an impression of how tight they maintain it. And I like how they have these peaks and valleys in the song, and they stretch it out. And in those valleys, they are doing different things. The bass goes off doing its own thing. The drums is doing its own thing. The guitar is doing a whole host of things. And what can you say about that awesome voice of his, man? That awesome young 20-year-old voice. And then they all come together, you know, and there's a lot of thunder in it, but there's a lot of lightness in it. Man, it's just a masterful piece of work. And what I'm recognizing in this song is a lot of blues influences, blues passages. I'm feeling that this is a Howlin' Wolf remake, I think. Was it How Many More Times? But anyways, man, this was a masterful piece of work. And this really goes to show your ignorance. Specifically, I'm talking about myself. Your ignorance about a group, a band, what they're capable of. This is definitely a hidden gem, you know. And you know, like, you know, I'll go out, hang out with my friends, go to parties and that sort of thing, and you know, I'll hear songs coming and going depending on, you know, the grouping of friends that I'm with. But I've never ever heard this song, man, and that is a shame. I can't believe it, because this is a masterful. This, I put it up there with all of their other tunes, man. You know, it's a 5 out of 5 ranking, and it's a shame that I've never heard it. I think maybe the reason why is because it's long. How long was it? I'm guessing it was like 7-8 minutes. So that's a little bit too long. Most people would look at the body of it, the length of it, and say, yo, man, this is a long ass song. Maybe I shouldn't include it, you know. It certainly probably didn't get a lot of radio play, I'm guessing, because of the length of it. But yo, man, I can't say enough about it. It's fantastic. All 4 musicians are just on point. They take their time with it. You know, they're not thundering at you like Dazed and Confused. They have a lighter touch, but it's just a great musicianship, a flow of great musicianship. Love it. Okay, man. I can keep rambling on about it, definitely, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stick to my structure, this being a double shot. I don't want the length to be too long. Yeah, man, like yesterday, my Leonard Skinner triple play was almost an hour long. So I got to stick within the confines of structure, man, not go off. So I'm just going to Wikipedia here, to my trusty song facts, and let's get a little background of this tune, man. Okay, Led Zeppelin, How Many More Times? How Many More Times is the 9th and final track on English rock band Led Zeppelin's 1969 debut album, Led Zeppelin 1. At 8.5 minutes. How many more? 8.5 minutes. Okay. 8.5 minutes. How Many More Times is the longest song on the album. It is one of 3 Led Zeppelin songs on which Page used a violin bow, a bowed guitar. Okay. That was the haunting sound I was hearing. Yeah, I heard it before in Dazed and Confused. Okay. In an interview he gave to Guitar World magazine in 1993, Page stated that this song, quote, was made up of little pieces I developed when I was with the Yardbirds, as were other numbers such as Dazed and Confused. It was played live in the studio with cues and nods, unquote. The Rosie and Hunter components of the song came spontaneously to the group on the night of the recording session. The Hunter was recorded by bluesman Albert King with Booker T and the MGs, and was written by Carl Wells and members of Booker T and the MGs. The title and Plant's vocals reference Howlin' Wolf's How Many More Years? Okay. How many more times? How many more years? Howlin' Wolf. Okay. I got the artist right anyway.
How many more years if I have to let you dog me around? How many more years if I have to let you dog me around? I would rather be dead, sleeping 6 feet in the ground. When I was trying to treat you right, you wouldn't believe what I say. When I was trying to treat you right, you wouldn't believe what I say. You want to use me, you just want to have your way.
As well as other songs by blues musicians he admired at the time of recording. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this song is a compilation of little bits and pieces, kind of like the Lemon song was, yeah. Reception. In a contemporary review for Led Zeppelin on release, John Middleton of Rolling Stone called How Many More Times as the album's most representative cut. Middleton complimented Page's guitar solo and Bonham's drumming, but criticized Plant's vocals, calling them strained and unconvincing. Strained and unconvincing. 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 What the hell? I'm gonna keep reading. This was the last song on the first Led Zeppelin album. It was listed as 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the album, but the correct length is 8 minutes and 28 seconds. The reason that the song was listed as only being a little over 3 minutes was to promote the radio play. Jimmy Page knew that radio stations would never play a song over 8 minutes long. So he wrote the track times as shorter on the album to trick the radio stations into playing it. Led Zeppelin used this to close many of their early concerts. During the instrumental section, Plant would often thank the audience and showcase the other band members. Okay, that is the background information of How Many More Times. Excellent. It's a great blues remake, man. Excellent song. I'm not gonna get onto that whole Rolling Stone trip. I don't know what the hell's up with those guys, but in any case, man, all four musicians were completely on point. And Robert Plant's voice, that young 20-year-old voice back then, was, man, it was like how would I describe that voice? Certainly wasn't strained and unconvincing. I'm gonna say that. It was excellent, well placed for this. I guess they were just so new that people just didn't know what the hell to make of them. And I don't know, it seems like Rolling Stone, for some reason, had their own agenda where it comes to Led Zeppelin. I'm gonna get off of that because that bugs the hell out of me. All right. As I mentioned before, I'm just starting to go down to my notes now. This was the fourth most requested song, man, after the Lemon Song, Achilles' Last Stand, and When the Levee Breaks. This one was definitely up there, and I would put it as the fourth most requested. As well, too, I know that a number of you are going to get on me for not reacting to their live 1969 version. I know of it. You've mentioned it a number of times. I believe it was Scandinavia, so Denmark. But I just want to say, just repeating what I did yesterday, if you didn't see my Leonard Skinner reaction real quick, I'm going to start focusing now on first initially reacting to the studio version of a song, and then thereafter I'll react to the live version, just so you know the method to my madness. Maybe not in every single case, but primarily that is the structure for myself going forward. I don't want to get lost in the sea of all of these different renditions of a song, and to get the most pure impression of the song, I think it's best served that I react to the studio version first, okay? So I know that a great number of you are going to have a problem with that. Sorry, I can't please everyone, but I think for me, on a personal basis, especially getting to know Led Zeppelin, going down this deep-ass rabbit hole, I could easily get lost. You know that, right? So I'm going to just stick to a format, stick to a certain approach until I get a little bit more seasoned. Remember, man, I'm only into the first album here, right? And I've got, so that's what, maybe 10 songs. I've got 140 songs left to go. That's 8 more albums. So yeah, you're gonna have to have a little patience with me. Remember, man, I am not well versed in classic rock, really. So some of the things that come naturally to some of you guys is not that obvious to me, so I could easily get lost in all of this. So a little patience, okay? All right. I'm just going down to my notes now, man. This song had some elements in it that kind of made me laugh. It's about this guy who just can't seem to stop making kids, and I guess when he courts these women, he gets into the mix with them, and you know, obviously he doesn't believe in birth control, never heard of it. He just keeps making babies, man. He calls himself the hunter. I think what he said he's up to, he's got 10 kids, he's got one more coming. And obviously the term barrel all night long means lots of sex, probably marathon sex. I think that's the gist of the song. They call me the hunter, that's how I got my fame. So obviously he likes bedding a lot of women, but he's not taking a lot of care to, you know, not create all of these babies. Anyway, man, just going to my notes here. Yeah, so my first note I've covered already, so I'm going to start with the studio version and then go on to the live version thereafter, as you guys recommended. Okay, note number 2 is I'm going to give you guys a little update on the Artist of the Month in another day or two. How that works is my patrons who are on my there are different tiers in patrons. You know, you've got your bronze and your silver. My silver tiered patrons, they select the artist of the following month. So December coming around tomorrow, I am going to gather all of their recommendations and determine the winning artist of the month from those recommendations. So note to my silver tiered patrons, let me know by the end of today what your recommendations for artist of the month is, and I'll get on that. And by tomorrow, I'll let everyone know who the new artist of the month is. Last month it was Leonard Skinner. This month, starting tomorrow, we'll see who the new artist of the month is. Okay, my third note. My third note has to do with something that I addressed yesterday in my Leonard Skinner triple play reaction. And recently there's been some issues and concerns over comments in the comment section having to do with bullying and having to do with insulting rhetoric. So at this point in my video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install a little clip of how I addressed this in my Leonard Skinner reaction yesterday. The reason why I'm installing this little clip is so that with Led Zeppelin there's a lot of views, and I want to make sure that the persons who are doing the bullying, who are using insulting rhetoric, sees this, and it's addressed specifically to them. So that's why I'm also including it in this reaction. So here we go with that clip. Okay, note number 2. All right, I'm gonna have to get a little serious and raw with you, man. Note number 2. Note number 2, I have bullying and insulting rhetoric on my channel. So, okay, I got it now. It's coming back to me. Recently, I have had some of my subscribers message me saying that they are experiencing a little bit of cyberbullying, where they would make a comment and then thereafter people who are, I guess, repeat offenders would jump on them saying stuff like, oh, not you again, why don't you just not make any comments, that sort of thing. That's bullying, right? And that will not be tolerated on this channel. I want you to know that. I'm going to be straight with you. Everybody can be bold and brave behind the damn computer screen. But think of this channel that you're visiting as my house, right? My subscribers are my guests in my house. So are you. So you come up into my house, I need you to be on your best behavior as an adult, right? You're not going to walk up into my house and bully my guests, right? So that is a form of bullying that I will not tolerate on this channel. I want all of my subscribers, or people who are not even my subscribers, to be free to come in and to make comments, whatever statements they want to make, in taste, in good taste, and then be free to leave and then come back. And not be afraid that, oh geez, when I drop a comment, somebody's immediately going to jump on me. So I want you to know, whoever it is that's doing that, I'm now paying more attention than before. And if I see that you are some sort of a repeat offender, I'm going to flag and I'm going to pre-screen every single one of your comments before they get posted, right? No bullying allowed on my channel, in my house, right? Secondly, along the same lines, insulting rhetoric. And let me give you an example of that. A couple of days ago, someone made a comment about Leonard Skinner, and they said that, yeah, you know, some of their stuff up to this point was good, but then afterwards it was horrible. And you know what? I didn't even care that the plane crashed. Immediately those comments were removed, right? And people didn't even see those comments. So let me tell you something, man. You are not free to say any damn thing you like. Not on this channel. Something like that that's so toxic and insulting and demeaning will not be tolerated either. You can say whatever it is that you want to say, but I draw the line where it comes to stuff like that. The person who said that, I'm talking to you, whoever you are. If you are supporting me on Patreon, I want you to cancel your support. If you are a subscriber on this channel, I want you to unsubscribe. And then I want you to get the hell off of my channel, right? That sort of thing will not be tolerated either, right? We are all adults and we understand what is right to say and what is not right to say. You're in my house, man. This is my channel. You're in my house. So you are going to conduct yourself like an adult and you're going to treat my guests with respect. Bottom line, straight up, right? You can't say any damn thing you feel like saying. You're in a public forum, and I don't care if you're at home, comfortable behind your computer screen. Your words mean something, and they can be hurtful and degrading, and it's insulting to me, to Leonard Skinner, and to all of the people on the channel who like the content. There's just some things where it comes to common human decency that you just cannot say. If you happen to be young and you're not an adult, while you're visiting my channel, I expect nothing but adult behavior from you. All right? What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to clip this part out and feature it in my Led Zeppelin reaction tomorrow, because there's a lot of views with Led Zeppelin videos, and I want those who I'm addressing to definitely see this message. I don't want to repeat myself with it too much. So just between today and tomorrow, and then I'll leave it alone until maybe down the road I find that it might be necessary to redo it. We'll see. But I don't want to ever talk about this shit again, man. We're all adults here, all right? So let's get back to the topic of our real focus, the damn music. Let's get back to the music. Okay, so now everyone is up to speed in how I feel about bullying and how I'm going to address it going forward. So I don't have to say anything more about that. So my fourth and final note is just a heads up as to what I'm going to be doing next. So tomorrow, you can expect to see a reaction to Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here, the entire album. And what I'm going to do with that is the same exact format as I did with Dark Side of the Moon. I'm going to react to the whole album in one go. And but what I'm going to do is I'm going to split it up in two parts so that the file isn't huge, and it's just going to be a little bit more manageable where uploading and that sort of thing is concerned. So the exact same format as Dark Side of the Moon. Okay, you can expect that. So that's my reaction, man. That's my reaction to these two excellent songs. Your time is going to come, and how many more times? I definitely plan on getting to the live version of how many more times sometime soon, within the next week to two. And so look for that. I'll definitely react to it. I believe it's the 1969 Denmark tour. That was kind of like their first showing as Led Zeppelin. So I want to definitely check that out and take that in. I know that I have a visual of what it looks like because someone was telling me in the comments that my reaction to Communication Breakdown, that was the exact same room, same timing, same platform. So now I guess I'm just going to revisit that same room, and this time it's going to be how many more times. So I'm looking forward to that. So in another week or two, I'll get to that, man. All right. So thanks very much for joining me. Thanks very much for all of the support on Patreon. And speaking of that, more than likely I'm going to be uploading this mainly to my Vimeo account and then providing that link. You know how this process works by now. So thank you for supporting me on Patreon. That's paying for my Vimeo subscription. Thanks very much for that. Anyways, man, I'm out. So have a good day, and look for my Wish You Were Here reaction coming tomorrow. Take care. Peace out.